Hey guys, we're back.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us for another exciting episode of Where in the World is, of the Live Connection. Today's focus is Where in the World is the AHA. So we are going to be interviewing some really amazing people that we've gotten the opportunity to get to know over the past couple weeks. And we really hope that you guys enjoy. But we've got a couple of housekeeping items that we want to go over with you here first. So I'm going to hand it over to my lovely co-host, Kate.
Thank you. So just like Nita said, just a quick housekeeping. We really wanted to take the opportunity while we had you all in person, so to speak, to talk about the upcoming AHA conference. So this year is very exciting. It's the first ever year that the conference is completely virtual, making it the most accessible conference that we've had so far. The conference is taking place on March 19th, 20th, and 21st with some amazing presenters, but you definitely don't want to miss the pre-conference presentation on the 18th with Mary Massery. So for those of you who are not familiar with Mary Massery is a very well-known doctor of physical therapy whose publications and interests focus on linking motor behaviors to breathing or postural mechanics in both pediatric and adult populations. And she'll be speaking to us about breathing and postural control, a topic that I think everyone will agree has clinical applications regardless of your discipline. But if that's not enough, Dr. Massery will also be participating in a panel discussion with some of the AHA faculty of varying disciplines on the first day of the conference to provide some insight on how we can integrate Mary's ideas with equine movement to maximize the functional goals for our clients. So I'm so excited about that. I would definitely sign up for it and not miss it. In addition to that, we also have a phenomenal keynote speaker backed by popular demand, Mike Suter. Anyone who attended our last conference will remember him. He has presented and published articles on neurologic and geriatric rehab since 1995 and has authored and co-authored more than 30 articles on topics of neurology and geriatrics, as well as several books, chapters on stroke, cognition, Parkinson's disease, and preventative care. It's really just an incredible presenter, an incredible person with a wealth of knowledge, and I can't wait to hear from him again. Nita, I'm not sure how you feel about it, but for me, if I'm being honest, I was a little disappointed at first that the conference was virtual because one of my favorite things is having the opportunity to network with people and talk to other professionals from all over the world like we can today. But I heard that there's going to be a networking opportunity on Saturday, the 20th. And so I can't wait to see what that looks like. Anyway, I talked long enough, but it's going to be a phenomenal weekend with talks on hippotherapy, research, certification. I heard Samantha Hatfield is back with an extension of her pelvic floor talk from last year. And Ruth Dismuke-Blakely is speaking, who I'm always excited to hear from. Any SLPs out there, you really don't want to miss that. Registration's open now. You can sign up on the website. Or access the page from our new link tree on Instagram if that's easier. We can't wait to have everyone there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, when you were talking about the networking piece, that's always such a disappointing thing when we don't get to see people in person. One thing that I wanted to let everybody know about, particularly our international viewers, is that we're hosting a special event. So on Thursday the 17th at 1:00 Mountain Standard Time, we're going to be hosting an event for all of our current members, but also for anybody who might not be a current member, but has been interested or just simply wants to learn more about what AHA has to offer them on an international scale. And this event, it's going to be hosted by two of our international membership subcommittee people, but it's going to be joined by several faculty. I believe the president's going to be there, and it's going to be open to anybody that's interested in participating. So you don't have to be registered for the conference to participate. And if you want, you can also invite other people, so colleagues that might be interested or want to learn more about AHA. You can invite them, to participate. And it's a good opportunity to reach out.
Members?
Correct.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
Yep, they don't have to be current members. It's really an opportunity for people to get an idea of what AHA has to offer. Also, to just reach out to the members of AHA and the leadership and talk about ideas that maybe you have, or feedback that you have, or any questions. It's really going to be an open dialogue kind of event. So I'm really excited about that. If you're interested in participating in this event, again, you don't have to be registered for the conference. It's going to be Thursday, March 17th at 1 o'clock or 1:30, I believe, Mountain Standard Time. If you're interested in participating, reach out to me. I'm going to put my correct email here on the screen. And if you're something that you're interested in, reach out to me via email, and I can get you access to that link that then you can share with other colleagues if that's something that you're interested in. And we'll put this email up again a little bit later on.
Awesome. We also had another exciting announcement that we're going to be doing a trivia question later in the show today. Nita, do you want to tell everyone more about that?
Yeah, so we're going to ask a simple trivia question. The first 3 people to answer the question correctly in the chat, so just type your answer in the chat. The first 3 people to answer correctly will get a choice of either, I believe it's 10% discount on conference registration, or if you're already registered for the conference, you could also choose to apply a 10% discount towards any AHA educational course of your choosing. So yeah, don't miss that. All right, what do you think? We talked long enough?
Get to it. Let's get everybody in here and start chatting.
All right, so I am really excited to announce our first interviewee. Her name is Miss Sarah Beasley. She is an occupational therapist in Cork, Ireland, specializing in the use of equine movement as a treatment tool. Sarah owns a private pediatric clinic called Strides in Cork, Ireland, and her clinic offers occupational therapy and speech therapy. She's taken both Part 1 and Part 2 AHA educational courses, and she is a board-certified hippotherapy clinical specialist. She serves on the American Hippotherapy Association Board of Directors. She is part of the American Hippotherapy Association faculty, and she's also the chair of the AHA International Membership Subcommittee. Sarah's passionate about education, and she collaborates with Central Michigan University, the University College of Cork, and the National University of Ireland in Galway. She has been an avid horsewoman her entire life and has worked in different equine industries in Ireland prior to pursuing a career as an occupational therapist. And she's a personal friend of mine. So I would like to welcome Miss Sarah Beasley.
Thank you, Nita, for that lovely introduction. And thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
We are so excited to have you here. So Sarah, I'm going to jump right in. We've got a couple questions for you. We're going to kind of go through as we introduce each of our other people, but I'm going to start out with you. Could you give our viewers just kind of a brief rundown about how you got interested in occupational therapy, and then from there, how you were introduced to hippotherapy?
I can. I suppose my story is a little bit of a roundabout one. And I had an interest in occupational therapy, but unfortunately did not get the points or the place for it when I finished school to get into university. So I went a bit of a roundabout way, did a different course, and I did what's known as early childhood studies in the University College Cork here in Ireland. And from that, I worked in a number of pediatric settings, and it allowed me to work and expand my knowledge, I suppose, working with people with special needs, where I discovered that's where my love lied. And from there, I took a little break with a couple of my friends, and we went traveling to Canada and having fun. And while I was there, I heard of this thing called hippotherapy, which I had never before heard of. And I came back one evening after hearing about it, and I started Googling mad, what is this thing, and discovered you needed to be an occupational therapist, speech therapist, or a physiotherapist. And I thought to myself, well, this is my opportunity to re-look at getting my degree as an occupational therapist. So I I applied to the University of Limerick and I completed a master's there in occupational therapy. And I think it was about 2 weeks after I graduated from that course, or I finished that course, I was on a plane going to Barcelona to Teresa's facility in Spain, where I was going to take the level 1 with 2 of our faculty members, Joanne Benjamin and Ruth Disney Blakely. So it all kind of grew from there.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about your private practice in Ireland.
So my practice grew from a one-man show, I suppose. It started in 2014 after I completed my level 2 with the American Hippotherapy Association, and it was just myself. I had 2 horses at the time that I would use, and as I say, it was a small one-man show. And since then, we have grown. So there's myself there. I have 2 fantastic therapists working with me at the moment. I have a full-time occupational therapist, and I also have a full-time speech and language therapist. And that is our lovely clinical area that we use with our horses. I also have 3 full-time horse handlers, and we have 12 horses that we use in the clinic also. And yeah, we have some different clinical rooms. So it's really expanded over the years.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Really beautiful.
I'm excited to show some of the pictures of your horses later on and some of the surrounding landscape. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I would like to introduce our next interviewee who's going to be joining us. So Elaine Harding is a physiotherapist and then was trained as a physiotherapist in the Netherlands in the late 80s. She moved to New Zealand and specialized in pediatrics with specifically neonates and early intervention. After having lived in New Zealand for about 15 years, Elaine moved to Hong Kong and 2 years later to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Together with one of the medical specialists Elaine worked with through Christchurch, New Zealand, she established the NICU and the early intervention physiotherapy services in one of the university hospitals in Kuala Lumpur. It was in Kuala Lumpur as well that Elaine got involved with the local adaptive riding group, where she initially worked as a coach. Very soon, Elaine realized that as a physiotherapist, she would be able to be far more effective in improving function for adaptive riding clients, and she opened a physiotherapy practice using the horses there. She got involved with the American Hippotherapy Association and has been to the US many times for training and conferences. She returned to New Zealand in 2014 and is now working for a charitable organization called Ambury Park Centre as a physiotherapist incorporating equine movement. She's taken both the AHA Part 1 and Part 2 education courses, and she is AHCB certified. So we would like to welcome the lovely Elaine.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for the invite. This is a great opportunity, and it's lovely to be part of this.
We are so excited to have you. So I'm going to pose kind of the same questions to you that I did to Miss Sarah. So tell us a little bit about how you became a physiotherapist. And for our viewers, particularly our American viewers, a physiotherapist is the same as a physical therapist.
Yes.
So those two terms are synonymous. But tell us how you became interested in physiotherapy and then how you got introduced to hippotherapy.
Yeah, well, originally I wanted to become a vet, but at the time my marks weren't good enough, so looked for something else. Slightly different, getting people to walk or animals. So then I got interested in physiotherapy as being quite sporty, I guess, and that was a great opportunity to get into this. Then I really realized that I like to work with kids, and specialized in working in pediatrics. As you in the bio, you already said, we've been moving around quite a bit in the world, and have been experiencing different ways of treating and different ways of learning about physiotherapy and how people deal with physiotherapy and how they teach physiotherapy. And so it's been really interesting. while we were in Malaysia, I got involved with the Riding for Disabled, the adaptive riding program there, and that was really interesting because they are really keen. The people there are really keen to have anything done to help their children to move, because there's not a lot of services available. So once I got trained as a coach, I realized that as a physio I could do so much more for these kids and families, and started looking around for information about hippotherapy and how that would work and how it would work for us there. And yeah, the AHA has been extremely helpful. Being to the States 7-8 times probably, and that's been great. Managed then to set up little practice there, but then within 2 years we moved back to New Zealand, and I thought, New Zealand's such a horsey country, it'll be a breeze to set it up here, which was not quite as easy as I thought. But now I'm working with the Embry Park Centre, which is a charitable organization, and we have it's a big center where I do the physiotherapy using the equine movement, but we also have a secondary school with up to 30 students, and they have a equine program in the morning and an academic program in the afternoon according to their level. So yeah, that's been really interesting. They also have an adaptive riding program, and we have a vocational program for adults with disabilities. So yeah, it's been interesting experience, and yeah, it's lovely to share it.
Oh my gosh, so thank you for telling us all about that, Mary Elaine. We're so excited you're here.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'm up. It's my turn to introduce Teresa Yoria. So Teresa is the owner and coordinator of pediatric services at Fundació Terapia Cabal near Barcelona, Spain. She is both a licensed physical therapist and a doctor in veterinary medicine. She has attended both Part 1 and Part 2 AHA education courses and is AHCB certified. And she holds additional training and treatment strategies such as NDT, which is neurodevelopment treatment, the Bobath concept, and aquatic therapy, the Hallwick concept. Teresa has completed internships in several adaptive riding centers and private therapy centers that include equine movement in their practice in the United States, including Connecticut, Indiana, Texas, California, Maryland, and New Jersey, obviously pre-COVID, because that would not have been cool. And she helped us organize an AHA Level 1 course in Barcelona, Spain in 2013, which more than 16 attendees from different European countries and New Zealand attended. She's presented on the topic of hippotherapy in several Masters of Neuro Rehab programs for physical and occupational therapists in Barcelona, Spain. And she has been a PATH certified adaptive riding instructor since 1996. Welcome, Teresa.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me. Anna.
Oh my gosh, thank you for coming.
Oops.
So I'm just going to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about how you decided to become a therapist, how you were introduced to hippotherapy, and tell us a little bit about your practice.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, I started as a veterinary practitioner in small animals, but also interested in and after several years of doing the practice, I realized that I would like to find something else about therapeutic, how the animals or the horses especially can help the people. Otherwise, I give up all the veterinary practice, and I went to the States to take the riding course in Texas. So I became a therapeutic riding instructor, and I came back to Barcelona for doing for starting a program, because there was anyone in Barcelona at this time. And after the years being a therapeutic riding with people with disabilities or adults and children, I decided that the most important thing for me, for the people, for the person, and what else I can do. And I was really interested in the several travels that trips I state is the hippotherapy. And so I needed to be a physical therapy for doing using the equine movement as a treatment. I came back to the faculty in 2014. I got my degree as a physical therapist. Then I went to state again for taking the level 1, H level 1, A level 2, and after the certification of a therapeutic, the American Hippotherapy Certification Board.
Wow.
So, and at this point, I can do hippotherapy all the time.
Wow, that's amazing. What a wonderful story. And do you want to tell us a little bit about your practice?
Our practice is in a small town. It's called La Mella del Vallès. It's near Barcelona, around 30 kilometers away. It's not on a riding stables. It's a practice that is in a private facility. We have a covered arena. We have outdoor arena. We have several rooms for as the clinical, and also this is without barriers. So we have our small clinics. We use the sessions is half a part is on the horse, and the rest we use the setting. And also we can use all the exterior, all the outdoors. We use the tricycle. We use all the equipment that we have outdoors. We have a very nice weather, and we can work summer and winter. So giving the best for the children. And this is we are working especially with pediatric at this point. We have been working with adults, but at this point we are working with small kids in early attention practice, and we have 6 horses.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. And your pictures are stunning as well. Everyone, one is more beautiful than the next and more beautiful than the next.
And the last.
Feeling very spoiled, like I'm traveling the world right from my house right now. I hope all our viewers feel the same way. And the very patient, Esther, is up next. So I'm going to introduce Esther now. Esther Nofziger is an occupational therapist in Germany. She owns a small private practice for occupational therapy in Germany, where she incorporates equine movement in her treatment for children and adults with neurological diagnoses. Esther has taken both the American Hippotherapy Association Part 1 and Part 2 education courses and is certified as a hippotherapy clinical specialist. Besides treating her clients, Esther has taught clinics regarding the use of the horse in occupational therapy treatments for college students, and she also enjoys offering workshops focusing on motor development of children for kindergarten teachers. Esther is a certified adaptive riding instructor through the Canadian Therapeutic Riding Association and spends the summer months in Canada, where she works as a consultant, clinician, and mentor for adaptive riding. Esther continues to support her Canadian clients all year through webinars and online services, and she's excited to have recently joined the American Hippotherapy Inc.'s International Membership Subcommittee. Welcome, Esther.
Hi. Thank you for the nice introduction, and I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, of course. And I didn't mention the name of your practice during your introduction, but the name of Esther's practice is the Aufsteiger Therapeutic Concepts involving equines. Right. I didn't attempt the second part of that. Maybe you can say the whole name. I'm sorry.
Sure. It's called Aufsteiger Therapeutische Konzepte unter Einbezug des Pferdes. But you said it beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I only tried the first part. Well, welcome. And I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about how you decided to become an OT, as well as tell us a little bit about your practice and how you got interested and started to incorporate hippotherapy as a tool in your practice.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you know what? I was interested basically in all kinds of medical services as well as in teaching, especially teaching children with developmental delays and different diagnoses. So I learned a bit about occupational therapy, and I decided I want to do that. That was the perfect job for me. But then, to be honest, I struggled a bit about OT or becoming an OT or a PT, because from what I knew, only physiotherapists can work with equines and treatment. But I decided to become an occupational therapist, and then thought maybe I can do therapeutic riding. Forgive me for saying this, but this is back then I thought this was correct terminology. So I went to Canada actually to become an adaptive riding instructor because they have a great program there. And then during my first exam, my examiner said, you should be doing hippotherapy. And then I asked her how, because I'm not a PT. So she introduced me to AHA, and I researched that and found out there's the opportunity for me to do that. So I started traveling to the States to learn about incorporating the horse into an OT treatment.
So cool. And would you like to tell us a little bit about your practice as well?
Yeah, sure. So I lived for a while in Canada, and then when I moved back to Germany, there was just no place to work for me as an occupational therapist incorporating equines. So I just started my own practice. Again, it's a small private practice. I don't own our riding facility, so we work out of an equine facility at this time. But yeah, that's basically, there's some pictures. This is basically what we do. So we do work out of a regular equine facility at this time.
Awesome. Oh yeah, look, more beautiful pictures. Thank you so much for sending those in for us to share.
Thank you.
So exciting. All right. So I'd love to start an open conversation, just a little bit about hippotherapy in your own countries, because I think the big purpose of this is to really teach people in the United States about what hippotherapy looks like across the globe, but also to include our international membership, because we do have a lot of international members at the AHI, right? So who would ever like to start, please feel free to jump in. But how common is hippotherapy in your countries?
I kind of want to, if y'all don't mind, I kind of want to pick on Esther for this one, particularly because many of us really talk about how hippotherapy originated in Germany. And that's where the original American women went over to learn about hippotherapy and bring it back to America. And so I'm kind of curious, Esther, to know about, how common hippotherapy is in Germany right now, and kind of what are the cultural perceptions of it?
You know what? I would say, to be honest, it's a bit of a mess right now. There is the term hippotherapy, and so this only in Germany applies to people using horses in a treatment treated by a physiotherapist. But then there is things called riding therapy, and then there is therapeutic riding, all these kind of things. So people, I want to say, like, people generally are aware that there is some kind of a thing or some kind of a treatment that you can do with certain diagnoses, especially neurological diagnoses that involve equines. But I feel like there is not a very good idea of what it entails and where the differences are. And part of it is too that there is a lot of different educational institutions that offer certain things and that all put a different name on the certificate that you receive at the end. So I do think that the term is known, but I think there is not much knowledge of what it entails.
Okay.
Or where the difference is too, maybe, if that makes sense.
So some of the same issues that we kind of have here still in America, really.
Yeah, probably with like therapeutic riding and adaptive riding, and
or equine therapy.
Yeah, exactly. That's a term that's used too, and you're thinking, well, that should be a vet.
Right, exactly. Luckily, it sounds like all the organizations, at least here in America, are on the same page for the most part regarding that particular term. But, all right, so let's find out. Marlene, so question for you. I'm going to pick on you because you kind of are representing both New Zealand and Malaysia, since you have experiences in both countries. So tell us a little bit about how common hippotherapy is there and some of the cultural perceptions around it.
Now, in Malaysia, at the time, there was an adaptive riding program, but not a physiotherapy or occupational therapy program or physiotherapy or occupational therapy using the equine movement. So when I set it up, at the time, I was the only one. There is another group of people now that have done some training and are using the equine movement. I don't know how it has evolved there, but at the time, just before I left, they were still very much alongside of the adaptive riding way of doing things. So only on the horse and not that much with specific goals. And here in New Zealand, again, the same. We have a big adaptive riding, RDA, Riding for Disabled programs, with representation all over the country. They have physiotherapists and occupational therapists in their program. But that is more to support the rider into the right position on the horse or to help with adaptive equipment. It's not a physiotherapy session as such. So I think at the moment I'm the only one that has that specific entrance of how to use the equine movement. Malaysia is an extremely interesting place to work. I was using the riding school and the horses of the riding school, and we were in the bush, in the jungle, and we would take the kids out, as part of a sensory experience out in the bush, and we would have the monkeys, jumping over us, over the trees and getting really, really close, as if they would try to, get things off our kids' helmets or, whatever we had there. It never got that far, but they were definitely really interested in what was going on with these horses. The horses weren't bothered by it at all. They are used to having the monkeys around because they are, everywhere. But it really added a lot of fun for the riders as well, although they are used to having monkeys around, but, to have them that close. And so it's been a great way of doing it. We don't quite have that here in New Zealand. We don't have monkeys, but we do have a great place. Our center is in the middle of our biggest town, which has about 1.5-2 million people, which is big for us. But we have a 50+ acre property that is owned by the council and that we're using, and it's part of. There's a working farm next to us and a pony club on the other side. So it's a huge property. We have 25, a herd of 25, of which. Oh, and we'll talk about that, I think, a little bit later about the horses. But yeah, so I'm really lucky. I've got, hopefully, if all the paperwork comes into place, I'll have another physiotherapist joining me. She's an American, and so it'll be great, once her paperwork comes through that she's allowed to work in New Zealand, that she's done some of the training as well. So we will be able to expand our program, which will be great because we have a waiting list, and we have the horses, and so yeah, it'll be wonderful.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, having a waiting list, I feel like, is always kind of bittersweet as a therapist because you're excited that people want your services, but it's also like you want to help everyone. So to have that waiting list, you're always thinking about the kids on that list, or the adults, or whichever population you work with. So Teresa, I'm going to put the spotlight on you. It's your turn. Can you talk a little bit about how common hippotherapy is in your country?
That's for me. And we use different words. I'm using all the time hippotherapy because I learned from the States and from the American Hippotherapy Association. But in Spain, there is a confusion with the names they use. The echinotherapy, hippotherapy. It's so confusing, and it's confusing also who is the professionals who deal with. And there is the psychologist, the physical therapist, occupational therapist, therapeutic riding. It's not clear. I'm trying to explain people what means hippotherapy for me, or for the way how to include the equine movement with as a treatment, as a strategy, not for learning they're doing horseback riding, or who are the professionals who deal with the hippotherapy? What are the goals for the session? Make clear what is therapeutic riding, who are the professionals who deal with the therapeutic riding, and also who are the professionals who deal with hippotherapy. Emotional therapy, the speech. This is why I'm giving some lectures at the university, trying to make clear and to open to the industry, because there is other professionals that can work with hippotherapy, but it's still confusing what is therapeutic riding, and also for the families, for the parents, because when they come to us, they say, what is therapeutic riding, or hippotherapy, or kinotherapy, or what's the goals, or depending on the diagnosis. It's still a little bit confusing.
Yeah, terminology is always a challenge, isn't it? It's so hard. I feel like it's been like kind of the running theme through this entire conversation that terminology can be really challenging. Sarah, do you feel that's the same in Ireland?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I suppose similar as well to Marjolaine, Ireland has a big horse culture, you know, from our thoroughbred racing industry to recreation activities and hobbies. But also like that, our Riding Disabled Association, and what would be known here as, say, therapeutic horse riding. It's a big part of Irish culture. But I suppose, like everyone else, using horses then in a clinical way is still pretty relevantly new here. And I suppose with new practices such as hippotherapy here, it comes with that ongoing education and explanation of why we're using the horse in a clinical setting as part of our OT and speech interventions. So it's definitely a worldwide thing, I suppose. This confusion between who's using the horse and why they're using the horse.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Quite political.
Sorry, Mary, I didn't hear you.
It can become quite political.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It can.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Well, let's change lanes a little bit from terminology and talk a little bit about what kind of horses you guys like to use. I know that as a provider who uses hippotherapy as a treatment tool, I have certain horses that are near and dear to my heart. Do any of you have any kinds of horses that are near and dear to yours?
Well, I suppose I can jump in. As I said earlier, we have 12 horses here, and without a doubt, they're all very different. They all have their own little personalities. There they are, chilling out. I suppose what's very important for us here in my clinic is that our horses are horses at the end of the day. They are part of the therapy team. But having them be herd animals and that they are still part of a herd is very important to us. We use a range of horses in the clinic here. We have what you would be known here as your traditional Irish cob. So these dudes here hanging out with their hairy legs. And we have your registered Irish draft horses. Ireland is known worldwide for their Irish draft horses. And also I have been known to use a thoroughbred in my clinic. So a total range of the animals we have. This is a picture I particularly like. That last picture was just over this recent lockdown we had here in Ireland, which we're still in, unfortunately. So the horses got an unexpected Christmas break where they were all put out for a few weeks just to be horses and enjoy themselves.
Aww. They look very happy in that picture.
Sarah, you said a common breed that you guys use is Irish cob.
Yes.
Oh.
That's yeah, well, we kind of, they're known as your traditional Irish cob, so they don't necessarily have breeding, and they are a very robust animal. They can look after themselves. They don't need a lot of love and attention, although they do get it. A traditional Irish cob is a well sought after animal. So that's, I would say, the majority of the horses used for therapy would be of that nature.
Very cool.
We use quite different type of horses. We have, you tend to use the big horses, isn't it? In general, the high hand ones. Yep. We use small ones as well. We have an Icelandic horse. We've got halflingers. We've got, this is our Icelandic, and he is just gorgeous. He is a great weight carrier, but he is, and he has a nice big walk, but he's quite small, so it makes it easier if you have a child that needs more facilitation, more support. He is great for that. We also have Clydes, Clyde crosses, which are the more chunky ones. And this is our halflinger, fast asleep in between rides. This is the oldest horse that I use. He's 25. This is our little Welsh pony. He is 13 too, and he again is really quirky and great to work with.
Oh, come on!
Yeah. We have herds, so I use probably about 7 of our horses. We've got a herd of 25, and 7 of them are used for the physiotherapy, and then some of the others are used for the other programs that we have.
Oh wow! You're very handsome and very well cared for.
Mm.
Yeah.
Esther, tell us about some of yours.
We have warm bloods. I mean, warm bloods are pretty common in Germany, and so we do mainly work with a warm blood mare. We do have a German riding pony available. Yeah, the cute guy in the background there. And you could compare it maybe to a Welsh pony, like. But yeah, our main girl is the one in the front there, who's a warm blood mare. Oh yeah, you know what? This is just shows the countryside. Yeah, but sorry. Yeah, this guy is actually my horse, but I thought it was a cool picture of the countryside. The other one that you saw again there too, this is our mare during treatment, and yeah, we find that she's a good fit for what we're offering for most of our clients.
I love seeing everyone's horses almost as much as I love seeing the facilities. I really do. It's very special.
All right.
This is our horses. This is our horses.
Tell us about yours.
We have 6 horses and 2 little ponies, and all of them are warm bloods. They come from France. Some of them they are Merens. This is a breed from France, and they are very nice. And the different horses that we have had along these 20 years, they have a very nice movement and different, even though they are from the same breed. And it doesn't mean they are 145 meters, and it doesn't mean that because we are working with little kids, we are going to use mini ponies. We use these horses for them, and because they have been working with us for such a long time, we are not giving less, using for adults. Now we are working with pediatrician because they are around 15 years old, and we prefer to keep them for the children. And this is the outdoor, the forest that we have close by. Oops. Yep.
I'm hearing a lot of warm bloods. Seems to be a common breed. Whereas like here, I know and it kind of varies across America, but I know here in the Southwest region, the quote unquote stock horse, which is not necessarily a term I'm fond of, but quarter horses are kind of more commonly used just because of their mentality. I don't know that warm bloods are as common, where at least in the Southwest. Kate, do you guys use any warm bloods?
So I was about to say how funny it is because we're both in the United States, but we're a little far away from each other. Nita said she's in the Southwest and I'm all the way on the East Coast in New York. And we really like to use draft horses at the practice where where I work, we have a couple halflingers and we have a fjord that I'm very fond of, but we do occasionally use quarter horses. To my knowledge, I don't believe we've ever used a warm blood, but very fond of the halflingers and the fjords for sure.
We have a halflinger. Yeah. And he has a really nice movement, and he's really nice. It's nice that they're short, but they're broad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It makes it really, really nice. He's kind of
new. Tag a challenge sometimes though.
I don't know what your guys' experiences with your halflingers is, but ours, they're very smart and they know it. And if you don't keep on top of them, they will run right over you.
Yeah,
very funny.
Yeah, they know exactly, who's leading and what they with. Yes, definitely.
Sure.
So funny. Well, speaking of who's leading, as you were saying, Mary Elaine, maybe we should talk a little bit about that, Nita, because I know there's a number of different kinds of handling that we use in the United States, and I'm curious what kinds of horse handling is done across the globe.
Yep. Well, I can talk to that. We use leading. We don't do any driving from behind. We work with volunteers mainly, and the leading seems to be an easier way of teaching volunteers than the long lining. We do use some long lining for training for our horses, but yeah, we do leading from in bitless bridles from the side. Yeah, these are some of our. We do a little bit of Halloween, as you can see. We do lots of dressing up and activities like that to make it a little bit more fun. This is our big indoor arena. During Halloween. And this is actually not. This is a picture of the indoor arena. Not. It's during the adaptive riding program, with some horses being led and some riders being independent. This is one of my little ones that actually, as you can see, has no helmet. I know that's a little bit of a controversial thing, but if I put a helmet on her, she totally loses her head and neck control, and there's no way she would be able to deal with the movement. Now, without a helmet, she has a full support of 2 side walkers, and she has a belt, and I always am in contact with her belt. So I know that there's a lot of discussion about this, but with a helmet on, she would not be able to be on this horse. And over the year that she's been coming, she has made so much progress that now she actually can sit up like this. This was earlier on, and she can keep her head in midline while being positioned in different positions on the horse. And in her daily life, she can now sit up in her wheelchair without having the need for full head support. So it makes everything daily life for her much easier. She can now, in a standing frame, in a slightly prone position, lift her head up. And so it's definitely worth doing it. We do have a policy that we review every 6 months. And if I feel that she's strong enough to have a helmet, that's what we're going for. But at this stage, she's not quite strong enough for that.
What a nice functional outcome, though.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm really glad to bring that up, Marley, because I do want to touch point on that, not to get off topic, but just really fast. So it is in AHA's best practice standards. We've got a little excerpt up here that obviously, safety equipment is important. our mantra is do no harm. And so, in the event that you can use the ASTM SEI approved helmets, AHA definitely recommends that. However, we're clinicians, we're specialists, we specialize in PTOT and speech, and we're the experts when it comes to assessing our patients and knowing if and when a client has, the postural mechanisms to support the added weight of a helmet while on a moving surface. And so AHA does have in their best practice standards that if it's your clinical, if you're using your clinical judgment and expertise to determine that a helmet, an actual approved riding helmet is going to be potentially more detrimental than it is going to be helpful, that you find an alternative safety solution. And Elaine, you pointed out that in this particular case, your alternative, if I bring the picture back up here, are not only do you have 2 sidewalkers, but you also use the belts, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And I have different types of belts. I have the soft material belts, and I have the leather belts that are a little bit more firm and supportive. And depending on what the need is, I use a belt all the time. Yeah.
And I just want to point out that you also have, pursued the specialized education from AHA, and you've taken a Part 1, Part 2, and you're HCB certified. So these aren't things that you take into consideration lightly. You are, relying on your expertise and all of your education to support these, these clinical judgments.
Yeah.
Okay, back on topic. Sorry. Side note there. All right. Sarah, tell us a little about your tack and your leading styles.
I suppose I took the option after possibly, I would say, maybe 6 months or a year of having my clinic open and using volunteers with us. I went down the route of employing horse handlers. So as I said, I have 3 full-time horse handlers at the moment. I have a couple of part-time horse handlers also. And anyone who knows me and anyone who's heard me speak anywhere or do any discussions regarding hippotherapy knows how strongly I feel about having good, strong horse handlers and people who know their job. They can really impact and make a difference to our therapy sessions and how our horses move. And at the end of the day, it's all about how our horses move in order to get our outcomes in our children. So on that topic, so we lead the horses by the head, we long line, that is a speech therapist, one of our kids. And we have a range of equipment, soft stir singles, hard stir singles, different types of saddles, all for different positions. You'll also see here, we are very, very firm believers of the belts that we use. You can see it's on every child. Similarly to Marjolaine, if my clinical judgment is that a helmet is not going to be beneficial to that child or is going to cause more issues or harm than good, we will not use a helmet. But our belts are a non-negotiable thing. And every child who comes to us has to wear the belt, because at the end of the day, I do find it's as safe. If I or one of my therapists is always in contact, always holding that child in an emergency situation, they're in a very safe position. And this is one of my pictures that I love. I think the contact these two are having and the engagement is pretty evident. It's a nice one.
It is a beautiful picture. Absolutely beautiful. Teresa, did you speak at all about your horse handling there?
No, not yet.
Oh, please tell us about it.
Our horses are lead principalmente long lining. And after the years, trying to avoid the burnout of the horses, we use an alternative. We use most of the long lining, and usually is the staff, is some members of the staff. The volunteers sometimes are sidewalker, but they receive a huge training for that. But for the horses, we need, as Sarah said, we need a horse strong leading. This is not mine, a ver. This is not my picture. We need a horse strong, not back riding, but training. We train our horses because the horse background in Spain is quite different. So we prefer to train our horse handler, and especially in long lining. And the equipment usually is short singles, one handle, two handles, and all the equipment. For us, it's such important to protect the back of the horse, and the helmet for us is quite important because in Spain is by the law and we use an alternative helmet from the States in case of the little ones. And if I decide to take off the helmet in such a specific position, is according with the family and under my criteria. Whoops. Don't worry. This is our kiddos. And this is
how interesting. What an interesting discussion. All right, so let's get into a little bit of a chat about how the local culture influences your practices. I think we did talk about that a little bit so far, but let's get a little more into it, as well as maybe a little bit of the challenges that you face with regards to use of hippotherapy, reimbursement for treatment, and things in that area. Esther, I haven't heard from you in a little while. Can I put you on the spot?
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, thank you. You know, like I was saying earlier, the problem is that we have a lot of different terms that are all used, and it's hard sometimes for people to find out what really this term entails. And it's the same thing for the doctors too. Like when I started my practice, I contacted every pediatric doctor, every neurologist, like really seriously in our area, and asked for that I could come over and let them know what I'm doing and why I need the prescription like this or that. I do always treat on private prescriptions. I think there was a question like that earlier from someone from Germany I saw. But basically this is, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so you know what? The problem is basically that our government health insurance did not accept our equine arena as a therapeutic place. So we cannot charge any services inside the arena. The private health insurances, they do often accept it and they do reimburse their clients. So we do have people that pay private, most of them, to be honest. We do have some people that are private health insurance and their insurance covers it. We also do actually have a charity that supports people that have been turned down from their government health insurance, and that can sort of, you know, lay open their finances and just kind of prove that they're challenged a bit with the payment. So there's these options of that, but it always needs to be very clear to everybody what we're doing, what it entails, why we do this, what the outcome is, and all those kind of things. Yeah, so that's maybe that's our biggest struggle, really. And the thing that it brings with it too is it's hard to offer pre and post hippo activities or you know, treatment services, because you cannot charge out anything that does not either start in the office, like in an actual therapeutic office, or at a home visit. So what we've done to just do a compromise is we do usually see our clients twice a week, once incorporating the horse, and then most of the time it's a home visit. Sometimes it's an office visit too, but they come to our office, but most of the time it's a home visit to help them just cover expenses. Yeah.
So, Esther, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time a little bit. You had sent me a really interesting cartoon, and I was
Yeah.
debating a little bit about whether or not we should post it, because I was like, is this going to be, you know, politically correct. I don't really know, but I think I do want to show it. I'm going to show it.
Yeah, it shows the reality. Just show it. Yeah.
Can you explain it to us?
Yeah, totally. We got this from a client here just this week, actually. And that's why I had to send this to you, because I thought it was just exactly right. The lady in the wheelchair is like all excited about receiving hippotherapy treatment. And then the guy there holding the horse and the donkey asks her if she's private health insurance or government health insurance. And you can see the options, she gets to choose from depending on which insurance she's with. And that's the struggle we face. Yeah.
Sarah, do you guys tell us a little bit about how your services are reimbursed in Ireland?
So we are a private pay facility. So clients come to us privately, and they pay upfront, and it is up to them to seek their own reimbursement. So to be honest, it's not as big as an issue, I think, as it is in other places. The issue with it here is that people have to pay for their own private insurance, which is costly and is not accessible for everyone.
Oh, yeah, that is a huge challenge.
Yep.
Yeah. An incredibly frustrating one. Mary Elaine, do you experience the same problems there?
Yeah, most of our clients are private paying as well. We have a lot of services, wraparound services for people with disabilities. It being the Cerebral Palsy Association that provides grants for, they call it up and go grants, which means that they will help pay for any sort of sports. Now I know this is not a sport as such, but if it pays for a session, if it helps, that's fine, that's good. There's some people that have, an alternative care support amount of money, and they can use that to have somebody else look after their child for a day, but they can also use it for our services. So yeah, it's not in the public service. It's not part of what we call here the DHB services, which is the health board services. Maybe at one stage, we'll get there and we'll be part of that too. But at the moment, it's not. So it's I guess it's very similar to Esther and Sarah's support, services, how it's being paid for. Yeah. We have, how I have it set up is that we have 45 minutes and we have part of that on the horse and part of it off the horse. I have a small clinic area, but I do most of my off the horse physio work around the horse or around the arena or on an outdoor balancing playground. So yeah, we do a lot of that, but we do it all in one session, not in separate sessions like Esther.
I just thought of one more thing too, and maybe, I don't know how this is in different countries, maybe this is a cultural difference or two. In Germany, not a lot of people are used to paying anything additionally to what the government health insurance covers. So they're insured through the government health insurance, through their employer. That's what they expect is covering everything, basically. And so that might be, that's kind of a challenge too, to then let them know, okay, you know what, this is actually a costly treatment, and you're going to have to pay it out of pocket. It's just, I don't know how different countries, I think in the States or in Canada, I feel like a lot of people are way more used to having to private pay some services, whereas here I feel that there is not a lot of openness for that.
I'm also part of a charitable organization. So as an organization, we do a lot of fundraising and grants. So what people pay for a session with me is actually far less than what they would pay for a private physiotherapist in the community, and they get the added horse movement. So they're actually getting a really good deal, but that is because we're doing so much fundraising, as part of it, because we're a charitable organization.
That's a really good point, that the way that you're able to do things that way in a way that's affordable for the families who will really benefit from your treatment. That's really wonderful. Teresa, I don't believe you got to speak on this topic yet.
Not. We are a non-profit organization, and we try to the clients or the families, they pay just 40% of the cost, the real cost of the session. And our board of directors is doing a huge work trying to find grants and different doing a fundraising, because that we would like that the hippotherapy can be afforded by all the families. It doesn't matter the money, but it's not covered by the social security or for the government, and also for the insurance companies. Hippotherapy is doing that as a private. And we, as a non-profit organization, we set as that, trying to find the sources for being able that people is having the hippotherapy at a less cost. That is what we do.
It's really interesting to hear about the differences in reimbursement across, the globe or internationally, because I know the differences in reimbursement, particularly like third-party reimbursement, like insurance, differs greatly even from state to state here. So, I mean, reimbursement is a very heavy topic, I feel like, and it varies so much, not just country to country, but I mean, state to state. It's a thing that AHA is constantly working on. Okay, I'm gonna pause the conversation real quick and introduce our trivia question. So for those of you who are just hopping on, we are going to pose a trivia question, and the first 3 people to answer the question correctly in the chat will get I believe it's a 10% discount either off of the conference registration for our virtual conference that's coming up, or if you're already registered for the conference, you can apply that discount towards any AHA pre-recorded educational course of your choosing. So I am going to post the question here on the screen, and the first 3 people to answer it correctly, we will reach out to you and give your information to Karen in our main office, and then she will contact you regarding your discount. So the question is, thank you for the drum roll. AHA has members in how many countries across the world? This information was specifically stated at one point or another somewhere in the world of AHA. So if you know the answer, type your answer into the chat, and we will announce the winners more towards the end of our show.
Speaking of continuing education, I would really love to hear a little bit about how being a member of the American Hippotherapy Association, as well as how taking the courses has contributed to your practice and your use of hippotherapy. So I'm actually going to put Teresa on the spot first for this question, if she doesn't mind. So tell us a little bit about that, Teresa. Ooh, Teresa, your mic is off. Here you go.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I muted. I started as a therapeutic riding instructor because I was member of North American Riding for the Handicap Association, and they give me a huge background of safety, horses and leading, and all the things that it has been very useful for me as a hippotherapy. Doing the hippotherapy. And after I took the H level 1 and H level 2, and they gave me a huge background and framework that and the possibility to talk with people who is dealing with hippotherapy for such long than me, and the meaning and the knowledge that I had has been really useful for me. And also having the opportunity to do some kind of internship, watching help with the people, with the physical therapists that I shadow, it's a huge, it has helped for me as a professional. I think that the knowledge and the practice and the possibility to talk with other professionals that are working in the same field, it's good for me. and I don't need to explain what I'm doing or what horses I'm using or the leading. We have the same framework and by one.
And it's always nice to be part of a group, I think.
Yep.
Esther, would you like to talk a little bit about yours?
You know, I really feel the same. Yeah, I've gained a huge space of knowledge from the level 1 and level 2 courses, and then continue to go back to the States for more classes to AHA. And I feel just like Teresa said too, you know, it's been an amazing education that AHA provides, but also to get in touch with people that work in the same with the same educational background, I would say, just like you were saying, Teresa, and to be able, you know, to get in touch and to maybe propose ideas and ask questions and know that their question or their answers are going to be based on that same education was just really good. And yeah, I've been really thankful to, you know, to have been able to have the chance to get the education through AHA. It's been wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. I love hearing people talk about it. It's so similar for me too, having taken the AHA courses. I really love having that support system, knowing I can have people to lean on. I still can't believe that I'm sitting here talking to all of you all over the world at all different times. I mean, I don't think people even realize that, Mary Elaine, it's tomorrow there and we're still having this opportunity. I mean, for me, for where in the past, Chia, where it's yesterday here, I should say. Mary Elaine, how has being a part of AHA and taking the courses and all of that really influenced your practice?
Yeah, well, when I started looking into it and where to get more information about hippotherapy, you know, coming from well, originally in Holland, but you know, living most of my life in New Zealand, you know, there was nothing in New Zealand that even gives you slight information about, you know, hippotherapy. So then, you know, Australia, which is, you know, the next biggest country, they have done some hippotherapy courses in the past with the help of the AHA. But at the time when I was looking for more information, that wasn't available either. Then looking back in, you know, Holland, where they look at things completely different again, probably a little bit more like Germany. England, where I would have to be taking an exam to become a registered physiotherapist before you would be able to do any sort of hippotherapy courses. You know, that was all not very practical, I should say, you know. And then getting into the information from the AHA, which was practical. You know, it's still a long way away from New Zealand or from Malaysia, but you know, it was affordable that way. You know, I made it affordable for me. It wasn't priority for me to do that, and because it comes in bite-sized chunks as such. You know, I like that way of teaching. You know, I like to get a little bit, take it away home. You know, play with it, practice it, talk to people about it, and then go back for more. And that's what I really liked in the setup from the AHA. And like the others have said as well, you know, there's always somebody there on the other, you know, side of the email or a phone call or a text or whatever. The other thing is that, you know, I've had a team out here to teach the level 1 course, which I thought at the time was going to be great. It was great. Don't get me wrong. It was great. I probably organized it a little bit too early in the play for me being back. I was so keen to get to share this knowledge and the knowledge of the people that came over. But in a way, New Zealand isn't quite ready for that. You know, the Physio team, they weren't familiar enough to then see that as a goal to really take that one step further. So yeah. But it's been great. So the support has been really, really wonderful.
Oh, awesome. Sarah, I don't believe you got to talk about yet.
Can I just say one more thing?
Oh my gosh, of course. Go ahead.
Yeah. So but one thing was that you know what you always have if you're part if you're an international part of an American organization or whatever organization it is, the organization is set up for America, and all the rules and regulations and strategies and whatever you set up is set up for America. And so, not all of that fits in our culture, in our setups. And that is something, you have to always weigh up, we can never, I don't think we can totally be an AHA certified center, because there are certain things that are different, how it's organized, how the funding is organized. So as long as we all are happy with that every country has their own little things to add, or to not be able to do according to the original system, then you can get heaps out of it.
I think that's a really important perspective. I'm really happy that you took the time to talk about that a little bit. Sarah, would you like to comment on that at all and share a little bit about how AHAs influence your practice?
Yeah, sure. I suppose similarly to Marjolaine a little bit, and mine goes back to when I went to Teresa's facility in Barcelona to take the level 1, and I met Joanne Benjamin and Ruth Dismuke-Blakely. And I can honestly say that I think if I hadn't met those two amazing ladies, I wouldn't have a clinic in Ireland today. We were having a chat.
I totally agree.
I had a chat with them out there about going on to do the level 2, and we were discussing the clinical hours, you'd need to do in between. And I said to them, I don't think it's possible. I don't have an opportunity to get these clinical hours. And I can remember them saying to me, it doesn't have to be OT, it can be a PT or a speech. And I said, I don't think you understand. It's not in Ireland. There's nowhere to do it. And I don't know if you know this, Nita, but Ruth said to me, okay, no problem. Come to my place in Skyline and you can stay with my daughter. And that's what I did. I went and I stayed with Nina for a month.
She likes to volunteer me for a lot of stuff.
And look how lucky you are.
But this is one that I'm so glad that she did, because we're bad.
Yeah. So it was amazing. I got to go to Skyline. I got to fall in and work there. It was crazy, but it was amazing. And I got to take my level 2. And I came after my level 2, and that was it. I just bit the bullet and I opened the clinic. And I have been back to Skyline twice since then. I think I've been there 3 times in total, and I've taken the connection courses and I've done the HPCS. And to be honest, because I have done all this with the American Hippotherapy Association, it's really after opening up opportunities for me here. So things that I wouldn't have thought have happened. You open a clinic and it's fantastic, and I'm working in my clinic. But, as I say, we collaborate with the Central Michigan University and Deborah Silkwood-Shearer, and they come over here. And that's because I have the association and the connection with AHA. I was flown to China to go and consult with people in China who wanted to incorporate hippotherapy into their facility. And again, it's because of the training I have and the experience I have. And again, the universities here in Ireland, it's the place to do the learning, I would say. I might be biased, but I'm delighted that I went this route with the AHA, and I really do think it has made my clinic what it is, and it has opened up a lot of opportunities for me.
That's amazing. I don't know about you guys. I could sit here and talk to you guys all day, though. I think this is fascinating, and I'm so excited we got the opportunity to give the rest of our membership and hopefully some new prospective members across the globe kind of an idea of how hippotherapy varies from country to country, but also some of the similarities that we all share despite how far away we are from each other. And I am so grateful to all of these wonderful ladies for participating and for helping us navigate all the different time zones, because that was a challenge in and of itself. one little thing that I want to announce before we sign off is that the American Hippotherapy Association Board of Directors just approved a really exciting new project that the International Membership Subcommittee is heading. So AHA is currently going to be piloting what we can call international councils. So Ireland, Germany, and Canada are going to be our 3 pilot countries, so to speak. And then we're going to kind of, we're going to use those as our little guinea pigs to kind of work out the kinks, so to speak. And then we're going to be opening it up across the globe. We're going to be focusing on basically establishing international councils. It's probably going to start out region by region as opposed to country by country, just based on the concentration, if you will, of AHA members. But basically each region is going to have their own international council. Well, they'll have a small group of leaders, if you will, and it'll be a great opportunity for those councils to reach out on a more local basis to local colleagues, local therapists, people who are currently incorporating equine movement practice, people who are interested in incorporating equine movement, and really network with them regarding AHA and educational opportunities. So there will be faculty liaisons per region that the councils can reach out to for educational opportunities, bringing more courses overseas. It'll be a great opportunity for the councils to identify maybe certain issues that are kind of popping up in that region that they can reach out to AHA to for help and support. They can also provide AHA feedback on ways that AHA can better support their international members in that particular region regarding maybe some of the specific cultural aspects, reimbursement, terminology. I mean, everything. So, again,
we're excited about this announcement because this is exactly what Mary Elaine was just talking about. And I held my tongue a little bit because I wanted Nita to be able to announce it, but it's just exactly what Mary Elaine was just talking about. And I hope that anyone who's on this, watching us live, and anyone who's watching us later gets excited about this too, because as a person who's in the United States, I really get to benefit from all of the things that AHA has here. But Mary Elaine, I know what you were just talking about. That's definitely a huge challenge. And Nita, thank you so much for sharing that on this.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And there will be more information about it specifically at that international roundtable discussion that is going to be open to anybody that wants to participate. Again, that's going to be on March 17th at 1:00 Mountain Standard Time, which should be a reasonable time for pretty much everyone across the globe. It's going to be really early in the morning. Oh, Marjoleine's telling me that's no-go. What time will it be in New Zealand?
What did you say? 1:00 here, isn't it?
1:00 my time. So I think it's like 8 or 9 your time.
9.
No, because it's 8:00 now. And what time? Well, it's 9:00, 10:00 now. What time is it at yours?
So we started the show today at 1:00.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it's going to be, that's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah. That's okay.
See, navigating time zones is very challenging.
I know it is.
But again, so if anybody who's viewing is interested in participating in that and you're not currently registered for the conference, send me an email here so I can connect you with our office, and then we will reach out and send you the link to that. You can then share that link with any of your colleagues, maybe who aren't currently on the live show at the moment, so that they can participate in that. And then just before we sign off here, I need to announce our winners of our little trivia question. Actually, going through our chat here, we had really close answers. A lot of you were referring more to how many international members we had, not how many countries. So I apologize if that was confusing. But the correct answer is that AHA currently has members in 14 countries across the globe. So Some of you were really close with 12 and answered 12, but I think Rebecca Sisk here was our first person to answer correctly. So Rebecca, I'll be reaching out to you. We'll have the office reach out to you for your discount.
Thank you all so much for participating today. This was such a wonderful conversation. I hope you all enjoyed being part of it. I hope everyone enjoyed listening to the conversation. It was exciting for all of you as it was for us.
I don't want to go.
I know. Yeah, thank you for the invitation. It was really nice
for the invitation.
It was great. Thank you. And we'll see you
you. Great.
Hopefully we'll see you all at the conference.
Yes.
And until next time, everyone, just stay connected.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for inviting us.